Hi, everyone. Mitch from PickDogs.com. It is Saturday, February 18th, 2023, here with your live show. We're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You know, the thing is, no NBA today, but tons of college hoops. We've also got NHL. So it is what it is. Of course, there's the NBA slam dunk contest and the three-point shooting contest as well. So I don't think, just not quite what it used to be, just not what it used to be. Those slam dunk contests and all that stuff used to be pretty exciting. I think that was in the ABA. It was really exciting, but now I think it's kind of an afterthought. Or when Michael Jordan opted out, since then it hasn't been near the same. Of course, Jay Briggs would disagree. Doesn't think Jordan was relevant. Anyways, got Chris Ruffolo up first today. He's got somewhere he's got to be. So, Chris, how's it going?
It's going all right. I told you I got a hot date with a Spanish omelet, and I can't keep her waiting. So, gotta get in and get out, but still like to show up on the weekends.
Nice. Well, pretty good card here, but we kind of don't have. It's there's not like the big games today. Not like Carolina Duke, like last Saturday.
Yeah.
Still, some games are probably going to decide, who's in and who's out. So a lot of good stuff like that going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of I would say mid-major, games that are, going to go a long way to deciding, the top end of the conferences. I know, Bradley's going to, and especially tomorrow as well. I know Northern Kentucky, Cleveland State are in action tomorrow. Bradley and Southern Illinois. So there's tons of great games throughout, and tons of great games today as well.
I read in the comments that you're an idiot because you took Illinois against Indiana. So I read on the internet, it must be true.
Has to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Indiana fans are delusional. I've been going at it with them for years at this point, and when they decide to start winning on the road on a regular basis, they can maybe say something, but that doesn't seem to be the case these days. What game you got to share with our readers today, our viewers?
Today I'm gonna look at that matchup between Wake Forest and Miami. I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be. I think it's gonna be probably one of the most, if not the most, entertaining game of the day, in my opinion. It's gonna be a complete track meet from start to finish. You got Miami, in their last 5 home games in conference, averaging 87.4 points per game, and like I said, lighting the scoreboard on fire. And you got it going up against a Wake Forest defense that's 281st in the country, allowing 73.1 points per game. Even on the whole, on the year, Miami's still a top 30 scoring offense, putting up 79 a game. But this is also a Wake Forest team that can put up points in bunches themselves. They put up 92 at home against North Carolina. They put up 81 in their last road game against Notre Dame, 79 against Pitt on the road, 73 against Duke. So I think we can get some points in this one. And against, the Miami team that still gave up 85 points to Louisville, I still think we're going to get a bunch of points in this one. So it's a high total. Around 157.5, but I still like the over here. I think we get into the 160s.
Yeah, both these teams can score. Louisville in their defense and in Miami's defense in that one. I mean, Virginia only beat them by 3 points, so it's not like it's Louisville. They're not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the record. Don't let the 3 wins fool you. It's the record is the record, but it's still Louisville at the end of the day. Yeah. But I could see a lot of points in this one. And I think it's a great year for the Canes, and a lot of people are really still looking past this team. A lot of people thinking it's a down year for the ACC. The same thing they said last year when they dominated the NCAA tournament. So going to be a ton of value on these teams. I saw you in Vegas last year when I was cashing my Miami money line tickets against Auburn, and it was a pretty empty cashing in line there for me. And needed a backpack to put all the cash in. But
I remember you walking back to the elevators, trying to just hold your pants up from all the money that was weighing down your pockets.
I'm hoping that I'm hoping people disregard the ACC once again, and we'll get those opportunities. But what else you got going on?
One more game, if I'm okay to give that out.
Well, you are a ball hog, and everybody knows it, so it's not going to surprise us. If you go for the filibuster.
If I go for okay, then you know what? Since I'm already here, quickly, I'll take the over as well between Gonzaga and Pepperdine. Gonzaga, they could potentially break 100 here. Even the total, up to now 166.5 doesn't take a whole lot from Pepperdine to get us up and over this total. I wouldn't be surprised if we got into the 170 range here. So I'll take the over in Gonzaga Pepperdine as well.
All right. What are you selling today at Pick Dogs?
Today, Pick Dogs, I got my $15 college hoops slam dunk play. Also got a bunch of 3-packs, one in the NHL, a couple in college hoops. But check out the long-term pass. The 7-day pass is cheaper than buying each package individually today. So, get you lots more plays throughout the week. So definitely check that out.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks for joining us. Enjoy your omelet, and we'll see you tomorrow.
I always will. I'll see you later.
How do I get rid of this guy? That's Chris Ruffolo. He's had 2 picks for us. He liked the over in the Wake Forest Miami was his primary pick. And of course, Chris would, even though he's got somewhere to be, he would be here all day if he could. Next up, we'll bring in Jay Briggs. Jay, it's Wayne. It's Jay. There we go. It's happening.
What's happening? Early today.
Well, it's like, what it is? Like the board, everyone is all the way across, and it's like, I got to click on it, and that's part of the problem with me doing the show. But anyways, yeah, no NBA today, so we figured we'll get you out of the way, get you on your way. Yeah, it's odd, right? It's like you get into this groove, and you're doing the jam session every single day. Now you have a week off, and so probably Wednesday you'll be chomping at the bit to get it out. The lines will be out early. You'll be able to just kick back and roll through it.
For sure. It's been a good start to the season. I'm ready for the second or the 2/3 end of it. So this will be a good one. I'm enjoying the little break though, but we got some action tonight. I'm a degenerate, so I'm a bet it as well.
There's plenty of stuff going on. So what are you looking at today?
Well, I'm gonna give one college play, and then I'll give my my 3-point contest winner. I'm going with Buddy Hield today, man. He's the only one in the 3-point contest that's already won it. He won it back in 2020. He's also put up the most threes this season in the NBA. He's also made the most threes this season in the NBA. And we're getting plus 420. I think it's a good spot to be. Like I said, he's already won it. And I think this is just a competition where, this has his name written all over. He's probably the best pure shooter in this competition. There's some other good ones like Damian Lillard and Jason Tatum, the bigger stars. But I think this competition here is made specifically for Buddy Hield. I think he comes out here and wins it again. So I'm gonna take him plus the 420.
It just seems that the guys that have the experience in these type of contests, they've been there, done that. We've seen them, in the past do it. But then you have, some other guys. Usually there's some, under the radar guys that can come in here and, but I think when it comes to 3-point, I think that Larry Bird is still the memorable one.
With the jacket on.
He just hit everything with the jacket on, and Michael Jordan on the side commentating say, I can't wait to see what this guy does with the jacket on.
Yeah. We were talking before the show. The All-Star break, it's not quite what it used to be. But, I love the NBA, so I'm going to be tuned in today. The slam dunk contest has kind of lost its lackluster. I would say most of that's due to the main guys not really participating in it.
I think also the guys are so athletic now in the NBA that everybody can dunk, everybody can do amazing dunks, and the dunks that you see in the games don't really do it in the slam dunk competition. So like jumping over a car and jumping over this way, what are they going to jump over? The Grand Canyon or something? It's like, it's still,
we've
probably
seen a lot now.
Yeah, we've kind of seen it all with this. What always also did it like after Jordan was kind of the little guys that could dunk, like Spud Webb, guys like that can dunk. It makes it look a lot more spectacular than like Kevin Durant or something.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So the All-Star game, it's lost a little lackluster this whole weekend, but I love it. I'm going to be watching. I'm betting Buddy Hield. I might sprinkle some on Matt McClung, the guy from the G League. It's kind of his thing, dunking in the slam dunk contest. So we'll see. But, just a little nods. But college hoops today, I do love this play. I'm going to go with West Virginia to bounce back on their home floor. I'll lay the 6.5. Texas Tech, they had the huge win in their last one over Texas. I didn't see that one coming, but they did do it. That was at home, though. We know Texas Tech plays their best basketball on their home floor. Just last season and coming into this season, they were on the crazy home winning streak. Texas Tech really plays their best basketball on their home floor. But they're out on the road in this one, playing another team that plays really good basketball on their home floor in West Virginia. I know they've lost 2 straight. They just lost to Baylor, just lost to Texas. They lost both of those pretty handedly as well. But their last 2 home games, they beat Iowa State. They beat Oklahoma pretty handedly. I think they bounced back today on their home floor and put it to Texas Tech. I'll lay the 6.5 with them here in this one.
I don't know. Texas Tech seems to be playing better basketball recently. West Virginia, one of those teams that you look at the POM rankings and you're just like, it just shows you how wrong that they are, just how skewed, So it's like, I don't know if I'm in 100% agreement there. I kind of like the way Texas Tech is playing right now. I think on the road, they played okay there. West Virginia, I think, probably wins the game. It just seems to be a lot of points for what's probably a banger game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Early action. So I'm excited to watch that one. Like you said, Texas Tech, they've kind of turned it on here lately. They were really struggling early, but they have been playing better here recently, but I still can't trust them out on the road. I just can't do it.
All right. Well, what do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Yes, sir. For sale today at Pick Dogs, I have 7 plays in total, 6 in college basketball, 1 on the ice. My $15 play is in college basketball today. It's in later action, so you can scoop that up. I have a 3-pack in college hoops as well. I have a plus money dog in college hoops. And then, like I said, I have my NHL money on ice play as well. So you can scoop all that up over at Pick Dogs Premium and continue stacking units, man.
All right, Jay. Well, thanks for joining us. And we'll see you tomorrow for All-Star Game Sunday.
Yes, sir. See y'all tomorrow.
Jay Briggs with the early showing on the show for today. I think, usually it's NBA. It's been NBA season. He kind of likes being that cleanup in NFL, but it's like, why not mix it up? Bring in Big Al next. He's still red hot, still on the winning streak, I believe. So, Al, how's it going?
No, pretty good. No complaints. Had a easy winner last night on the Cornell Big Red.
Easy overtime winner.
They just toyed with them for regulation and they decided to turn it on in overtime.
We like to call that a no doubter.
Yeah, rocking chair winner.
Tons of action today and on the card. I mean, it is it's one of those days where it's kind of like there's not the big feature games. Maybe Kentucky, Tennessee.
Baylor, Kansas. You've got, if you care, Michigan State.
But that's not a big game because the
Big Ten game, but it's
competitive.
But because of the emotion surrounding the murders at Michigan State's campus, I might want to watch it.
Yeah, it's I think the Big Ten just not a competitive conference this year when it comes to the national landscape, and I imagine by the Sweet 16 we're going to see one team left at best from that conference. Sometimes they surprise us. Sometimes we see teams in conferences surprise us. I just don't see how these guys do it because we've seen them out of conference and they've gotten starched in most of their out of conference games. So I don't know. I think Maryland might be the sleeper there, but we'll have to see when how it all shakes out.
Yeah.
Committee will probably give some of these teams what they think is an easy road. But I don't think there's going to be any easy road this year in the NCAA tournament.
No, it's a lot of parity.
After the first round, it kind of shakes itself out, and it's like there are no more easy games.
Well, I'm going to look at a rivalry down south, Mississippi versus Mississippi State. This is the second meeting between these two teams. Bulldogs won the first one by 10 points, 64-54 in Starkville. And right now, Ole Miss is just in a really miserable stretch. They're 2-13 straight up. Over that 15-game stretch, they've gone 4-11 ATS. But I still like the Rebels, as a 3.5-point home dog in Oxford. In this rivalry, when you get a home team that's not off a straight up and against a spread win, in this rivalry, those home teams have gone 33-12 ATS. So I'm going to grab the 3.5 with the Rebels and, hold my nose.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Mississippi State seems to be playing better recently.
They are. No, Mississippi State's playing well. They're 6-1 ATS their last 7, 5-2 straight up their last, in those 7 games. I mean, they're playing the better ball, but as you know, just because you're playing better ball doesn't mean you win.
Yeah, Ole Miss screwed me against Vandy. They busted up my parlay. I had Vandy in that one. Ole Miss decided to score a bunch of meaningless points late. They were Vandy was up by 11 with like 40 seconds left to go and ended up not covering the spread in that thing. Ole Miss got the slam dunk with about 2 seconds left to go with a bunch of guys standing around doing nothing. And but I got even last week Mississippi State was favored against Kentucky, and that just didn't even make any sense. I mean, do you think like you get to this point of the year and you see some of these teams in conference play, they go through some of these cold patches, and then people forget just that these guys have a roster full of all Americans, versus Mississippi State, or something like that. It just seems to me like Mississippi State should never really be favored against Kentucky.
I don't know. I thought, I didn't play the game, but I thought the line was right.
Kentucky was our dog of the day, so we'll take it. But any other games or? I
got a lot of games for sale. Maybe one more. USC, their first meeting this year, but they were upset in the 2 meetings last year by Stanford, so they're playing with revenge from those 2 upset losses. So I would look at USC and lay the points.
Stanford's played pretty well recently in their games. They're definitely – it's one of those schools that you would think would be better at everything than they are. And they have had times where they have
times. It's been a while.
It's like – to me, it's always amazing. You have these great academic teams, great academic schools that have really good programs for sports, because most of them might have one. Like Duke has a really good basketball program, but they're, maybe lacrosse or something.
And I don't know how those, mid-tier, whatever you want to call them, Pac-12 teams are going to do when USC and UCLA leave the conference. I don't even know how they're going to survive.
Well, there's always a way, and they always figure it out. I think to me, I don't really understand all of the economics of it, but the move doesn't make any sense whatsoever for their standpoint, especially in football with an expanded playoff. Now you're competing for Big Ten with the Big Ten basically the only automatic is the championship, and you would have you would think a better chance in the Pac-12 of getting the automatic than, from the Big Ten. So I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So, but then again, so neither did some of the other things that UCLA and USC have done over the years either. So we'll have to see what happens. I mean, they are who they are. What do you got for sale today?
Today, we've got one play in hockey, my non-conference game of the month. I've got, if I can do some quick math, I think 13 plays in college basketball, 12 or 13. I lost track. I think 13. I've got I've got my ACC game of the year going for my 7th straight conference game of the year winner. And overall, I think it's on a 69-30 run or something like that. So it's been pretty good of late. And I've got a 5-game package. I've got a 3-game package. I've got my Big 12 game of the month. So a lot of good things at Pick Dogs.
A lot of strong picks, sounds like, or at least ones that you feel strong.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably the card is probably a 7. Probably
like at what point does it qualify as like you do a lot of game of the years, right? You have like every conference,
there's 32
conference stuff.
But there's 32. There's 32
what
college
qualifies a game to go game of the year as opposed to the game of the month or game of the week, or
if it's just
slam dunk.
If it's a really strong play relative to the other plays, so I have perspective, so I know when a play is a really good play, and If it's a really good play, then I'll make it a conference game of the year. I've only had of the 32 conferences, I've only had, I think, 15 so far this year.
Well, it gives you some room to work with. You got all the conference tournaments, and so
there's enough time to do it. But
for some of those opening round matchups and some of the conference tournaments where there's not a lot of buys.
I think like 3 or 4 years ago in college football, there's 10 conferences in college football, and 3 or 4 years ago I went 10-0 in my conference games of the year, so that was fun.
Well, hopefully, maybe Iwapui wins a first round game or something. You get a shot to go against them. A reasonable number. But Al's been on fire lately. If you get the newsletter, we kind of have been documenting it all the way. So be sure to jump on board on the newsletter. There's no newsletter this weekend. Taking a couple-day break, but we'll be back on it on Monday. But Al, thanks for joining us. And
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Big Al, he's been on a heater of heaters. Bring in Wayne. Well, I can't see him. There he is. Wayne, what's happening? Got bad. You're muted, and you got. Let's see. Oh, I can't unmute. Yeah, you got to do it. Your mic isn't connected.
Good.
There you go.
I appreciate it. My bad. What's going on, guys? What's going on, Mitch?
Nothing. We're just talking sports here. What's cooking on your end? A lot of regional games for you today.
Yeah, I'm in these smaller conferences. I got a couple in the larger conferences too. But yeah, you know me. I like to key in on these small games. So yeah, we got 9 games total in college basketball for me, and 2 in NHL. So ready, excited. Got a lot of early action and a little bit in later tonight, but most of my games are pretty early today. But as far as what I got for everybody today, I'm gonna go to the game between Drexel and Hampton. Be pretty straightforward with this one. I like Drexel minus the 5. I think there was at 4.5 at first. The 15-13. Last time out, they lost to UNC Wilmington, which in the game they lost on the road in overtime, and they played their butts off. Before that, they lost to Hofstra in another game where I was on Hofstra, and they played pretty good. They battled all the way in that one, and I love how they played. On the other end of this, we got Hampton. They're coming off a 5-game losing streak, so they're trying to get a win off of 5 losses. They went against Hofstra recently too, which would be their last game. They lost by 30 in that one. So they're at home where they don't play much better. They're I'm sorry, Drexel is not a great road team as well. But in this one, I just like Drexel with this defense and with the rebound they got, and Hampton struggling to score right now. I think Drexel can come out and win this one. Drexel also played Hampton already this year and won by 6, but I think they'll get it done by a little more of this one.
Yeah, the line looks a little funny to me because these Hampton lines have been high double digits, and now all of a sudden you see one that's 4.5. So it's kind of like if they tried to scare me off, they did. They did a good job of it if that's what they're trying to do. And as I see in the comments here, that's the same Big Ten bullshit that we hear every year, and that is the records are only bad because they're beating up on each other. No, they suck. They're terrible. They played out of conference. They got starched. They got crushed. I mean, what world are you living in?
Yeah, I heard
world? And what planet? Is that the case?
Yeah, they definitely don't travel well. Yeah, we know some of them have some great home records, but they're definitely not traveling well. So,
I mean, even the guys that will play, that even have the sack to play against the decent teams out of that conference, just got wrecked. I mean, Michigan State, they always play that big schedule. They got wrecked. I mean, they played, we played Carolina, Kansas, whatever. They kicked your ass. I mean, it was like, if it was a fight, they would have stopped it. They got beaten up in every one of those games, right? They lost to Gonzaga by a point. That was their big claim to fame of the season. I mean, they got crushed. They got slaughtered. It's like Michigan, they got slaughtered by like some terrible earlier, right? I mean, it's destroyed. Let's look at Michigan, I mean, ridiculous. I mean, this is the same shit we hear from these Big Ten fans every single year. They beat up on each other. No, they stink. They stink. They stink.
They definitely had their better years, I tell you.
Yeah.
They're not.
Arizona State beat Michigan 87-62. That's like if it's a fight, they would have stopped it. Michigan State played the tough out of conference. They beat Kentucky in overtime, lost to Gonzaga, lost to Alabama, beat Oregon, lost to Notre Dame 70-52. Ouch. I mean, Notre Dame, they stink. Terrible. Anyways, feel free to kick
good,
them.
Man. I was about to say you can go all day with these guys, man.
You can go all day with these
bottom
guys.
Of the big. Now, definitely when you go towards the bottom of the Big Ten, like the Wisconsin teams that I'm normally used to seeing playing better, just not it this year. Not the year. Not to be trying to brag on them.
Let's look at last year's tournament and see how well these guys did. I mean, let's look at the big picture here and see, exactly what happened, because it wasn't pretty. They got crushed. You look at the Elite Eight, 0 Big Ten teams. You look at the Sweet 16, I see Michigan, they lost to Villanova, Purdue lost to St. Peter's. They had 2 teams in the Sweet 16. And they both lost. Real heroes. And how many teams did they have in the tournament? Like 10, right? I'd like to see like Northwestern up against Houston in the opening round and hear all the Big Ten bullshit then. That'd be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
Or second rounder, Northwestern against Houston. It's like, oh, the Big Ten's so good. It's like I feel like 160-0.
Yeah. I'll give a shout out to Northwestern guards, but that's about it, man. They'll definitely get toasted in that one. But against
they
Houston,
get crushed. I mean, by AAC team, crushed.
Yeah, really.
I bet I bet the house on that one, man.
I'm with you, Mitch.
I just think the Big Ten just so overblown, man. So overblown. Always. Anyways. I mean, did we not see the TCU Michigan champion playoff game? All right. You got another game for us?
We can go with I'm on Kevin Huerter in the 3-point contest today. I heard Jay gave out here, so I wanted to throw out that Kevin Huerter. I like Buddy Hill. I do like Buddy Hill, but just something for a little bit better eyes with a guy with a smooth stroke like Kevin Huerter. This guy's been shooting out the womb, and I like for him to have a good chance. I know everybody's probably gonna be on the Stars, Tatum and stuff, but as far as like a small guy who has an absolute chance in this one, like Kevin Huerter in this. And as far as college basketball, one that almost made the premium for me that kind of didn't because of how Coastal's playing, but I like Texas State. That's a 2:00 start time over Coastal Carolina at that one. And that one, just Texas State just playing a better ball. They are on the road. That's another thing that worries me. They're not the best road team, but just with recent play, I like Texas State on the mile -1 to get the win over Coastal Carolina.
I'm going to take Tyler Harrow in the 3-point contest plus 800.
I just think
he's one of those guys that when he gets hot, he's really hot. So if he gets hot, he's going to win the whole thing.
The 3-point contest to me is one of them things where you can almost guess the winner once you see the first round. Whoever makes it out of the first round, you can be like, kind of like, okay, yeah.
Yep. Well, Steph Curry and Larry Bird were always pretty good bets.
Yeah.
What do you got for sale today?
I got my best bet in college basketball. Game of the day in college basketball last week. Put one out there. It was -7. It was 20-point winner. It's gonna be feeling like a great one like that again this one. So go check that out. I got a 3-pack. As I said, I have 9 college basketball games altogether. So I have a 3-pack with my early games and a 5-pack, which includes 4 more college basketball games for those waiting for the later games, and 1 hockey in there. So 3-pack, a 5-pack, and my game of the day in college basketball.
So no parlays until Thursday. Is that what's going on here? That's what Ron said.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Until
we'll be back on Thursday. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thanks, Wayne. We'll see you tomorrow.
No problem. All right, Pick Dog fam. All right, Mitch. Holla at you.
Wayne Scott refusing to engage with me on the Big Ten there. He didn't want to. He would want to beat him into the ground. There, Ron Romanelli's raising his hand. I think he wants to be next.
I was going to say I'll engage with you in the Big Ten conversation.
All right. What do you think about Ohio State and their 51 Ken Palm ranking?
Yeah, I agree with most of what you say, and I disagree with some of what you say. I do think Michigan State, they had some nice wins in non-conference play.
Well, let's look at the next 50. Let's look at the next 50 to 100 versus Ohio State in the Palm rankings.
No, I'm saying Michigan State in their non-conference games. No, Ohio State's been the big disappointment.
But yeah, but then why are they in the Palm rankings? You're like the Palm rankings expert for us.
Palm rankings are not.
How do they get to 51?
It's just based on adjusted offensive efficiency minus adjusted defensive efficiency, and that's the total you get. It's no Ken Palm's not like, all right, 51.
No, I understand, but don't you have to say if they're ranked 51 based on anything that the rankings are incorrect?
Well, they're 59 now after their most recent loss.
Whoa!
But
and what are they? 1-10 in their last 11?
Well, the thing is, they were number 9 in the Ken Palm rankings before their big losing streak. So, they've adjusted every single loss. They usually lose about 10 spots in the rankings. But at the beginning of the season, they were very efficient. They won some big games, a bunch of top 100 wins. But now they're just falling off. They can't play on either end of the court. So the rankings are adjusting.
Yeah, but you're seeing other teams like Connecticut who haven't played all that well recently as they continue to lose games to move up in the rankings as well for these Palm rankings. Connecticut's now 5th in the Ken Palm rankings. And they've been pretty ordinary over the last month or so.
Well, I think it just goes to show you how good the Big East is. And you look at a team like Creighton who went on that big time. They went on a 6-game losing streak, but the rankings didn't really move too much. They were 17th before, then they went to 28th after their 6th loss. And I think those rankings were correct as now, they're on a big time. They're playing really good basketball as of late. So
I think the rankings, the Ken Palm rankings are weighted to the Big Ten. And I think that they don't have a lot of credibility.
Every single national champion since 2002 has been in the top, I believe, 40 in adjusted offensive efficiency and the top 22 in adjusted defensive. So there is merit to that. Every single champion since 2002, which was when the rankings
top 40.
Made. Top 40 in adjusted offensive.
That is a big range.
But you also have to be top 22 in defensive, which is not easy. It's not usually you see teams that are very efficient offensively, but not so much on the defensive end, and vice versa. Teams like Oral Roberts, really good scoring team, but they can't play like a defense. They don't have a chance to win the national championship. As much as they may go on a Cinderella run and win a couple of games, they're not going to be able to keep running the table. So it's those teams that can do it on both ends. Those are the teams you want to bet on as far as future bets go. And right now, only I think 6 or 7 of those teams apply. So, and you're getting pretty good plus money. So check it out after the conference tournaments if you want to place a future bet.
All right. There you have the Palm rankings explained.
Ron Palm.
Works for Vegas.
Works for Vegas. And I work for him.
Yes, all in 1 week. You went from working to Vegas to never losing the GOAT back to working for Vegas.
Never
busting up parlays.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a week for you.
It's an emotional roller coaster for the Romanelli family.
How much do you look at the YouTube comments?
Not much. It's nice to see compliments when you do well, but there's a lot of people are way off with their comments. So, it is what it is. We just we show up every day, win or lose, and that's it.
I think it's kind of people go by the picks. This is what I believe they go by. I think a lot of people, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people, they go by the picks that they agree with. And if they don't win, then you stink.
Yeah.
Right. And me too. Me too. And it's the same thing. So it's like, it's basically their picks, that you agreed with.
Yeah. And there's a lot of parlay bettors out there. And if the breakdown doesn't go 5-0 every day, it's not the best comment section, but it is what it is. We're looking for a winning day every day. And that's what we're doing every day.
Busting up my parlay.
Busting up the parlay.
Busting it up. What do you got today to bust up my parlay?
Yeah, we're going to go to the MAC, as I think Toledo's going to bust up Bowling Green. I like the Rockets here laying the points. 10-game win streak for Toledo. And the big thing is this team can score at will, 14th in the nation in adjusted offensive efficiency. Great shooting team. They don't turn the ball over much. They play at really fast pace. So they've scored in this win streak most of their games. In fact, every single game except one win, they've scored 80-plus points. And now you're playing a Bowling Green team. It's one of the worst defenses, not only in the conference, but really in the country. So sure, Bowling Green can score, at a decent rate. But if they want to get in a shooting contest or, an offensive shootout in this game, I just don't think it's going to work out for them. And that's what happened in the first meeting between these two. It was a 91-77 final score. So, Bowling Green's offense had a nice day, but they still lost the game by 14 points because they could not defend. And that was a game where Toledo didn't have a great shooting night, at least from the perimeter, 26%, which is well below their season average. So I think Toledo, is going to really put on a show offensively in this game, even on the road. Bowling Green has actually not played very well on their home court, mostly in the favorite role, but really in general in conference play, out of conference play. We've seen them lose their last 3 home games to Ball State, Northern Illinois, and Central Michigan, teams that are kind of subpar in the conference. So I'm going to take Toledo. I'm going to lay the big number there.
All right, it's MAC action. Do you have a premium pick in LSU, South Carolina?
I don't.
All right. Well, what do you think of this game? You got South Carolina getting plus 270 on the money line against an LSU team that's lost 13 games in a row. And South Carolina's at home.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like that's one. It's like I don't claim to be this expert of experts with these, spreadsheets and numbers and 2%ers and 5%ers and all that other stuff. I'm a gambler, and this is what I do. And I've been transparent about that for 15 years here online. And, I've been fortunate enough that I've hit a lot of bets like this, but to me, this one just seems almost, you have to bet it. I mean, you just have LSU to take a shot, right?
Yeah. LSU's home, but I honestly do like the Tigers in this one. I just think South Carolina is the worst team in the conference. And, LSU had a big expectations. They were 12-1 to start the year. They beat Arkansas to start conference play, but I still think they're the better team in this matchup. I don't trust South Carolina on the road. I just think they're the worst team in the conference. Fundamentally,
what about the bad juju they got going on? It just seems like they got the bad juju. It's like, normally when you string together that many losses, it just seems that when it rains, it pours. It's like, even Louisville. I thought they outplayed Virginia the other night, and still, couldn't get the win.
Yeah, I know.
It's like certain teams, Georgetown, you see it, and Mississippi Valley State on some days.
But I'd say South Carolina is. I mean, it's not like that. They've only won 2 conference games, so they were.
Yeah, but they have one of the best players in the country, right, on their team.
They have I don't know if I'd go that far, but
they have an NBA caliber player, like a lottery pick guy. Right?
I think LSU has a few players that are maybe not NBA caliber, but very good players. KJ Williams having a good season, so I think LSU is going to do enough here to win it and cover.
All right, I'm going to take South Carolina. I'm going to take my shot at the plus 270. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight, but it's like I see plus 270 against a team that's lost 13 games in a row. I'd take a shot at it. Why not? I think that coach of South Carolina, I just think it's just going to take him a little bit of time. Isn't he the guy from Chattanooga?
Chattanooga, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he won at Chattanooga.
But Matt McMahon from Murray State didn't do too bad. Now at LSU.
Yeah, but they're still suffering the curse of Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
it festers.
Well, it just goes to show you why, playing such a weak non-conference schedule is not going to help you. The LSU played, they played Kansas State, they lost, and then they played Wake Forest at a neutral site, and that was it. Basically, every other team was terrible that they played. And yeah, they picked up wins, but it didn't prepare them for a very, very, very tough SEC schedule with a few teams that could certainly win the championship.
There seems that there's a lot of teams in the SEC that don't play the big out of conference. Like Alabama did play the big out of conference this year.
Yeah, I think some teams do. I think Kentucky
generally does, but like Georgia will play. They would play.
Yeah,
I mean, they would play Asheville every week if they could.
It's tough for a team like Georgia because not a lot of teams want to play Georgia because beating them doesn't really do anything for you, and losing to them can really hurt you because beating them isn't just an SEC win. It's one of the worst SEC teams. So teams that are in like the Big 12 and such, they don't want to schedule Georgia because it doesn't do anything to help them. It's going to cost them a good amount of money. And if they lose, which is possible because Georgia's not that bad of a team, it just really hurts them more than anything. So, sometimes sometimes a team like LSU though could certainly schedule a tough schedule even with a new coach, and they played East Tennessee State, Winthrop, North Carolina Central. Those wins are not going to help you for SEC play. Not this year. They're pretty bad this year.
Well, it could be
good. Not the same Winthrop. Not your grandma's Winthrop.
I like Winthrop. I like them today
against Charleston Southern.
Yeah, money line -148.
You daring?
Well, what do you got going on today? Do you have another pick or?
No, that's it for me. Right. I've got 5 college basketball plays in total, so I got my $15 bank shot best bet. I think we're on some kind of good run. I forgot what the record is, but in the last 36 plays, and then I got a 3-pack as well with 3 of my favorite plays on the board. So red hot in college hoops, up about 1,400 units almost on the season. So check it out.
All right, Ron, thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Ron Romanelli, the bank shot breakdowner. Go to Jovan next. Jovan went against Ed Cooley on last week's show. We'll still allow him back even after that, but bad vibed him. Well, we got even with you because we got an extra 10 minutes of Cooley this week on the double overtime. So as president of the Ed Cooley fan club, I appreciate it. You're muted.
I cashed out on that one. Had to get some money with the Friars in that game. It was a sweater. That's to be sure. But
it was Valentine's Day. They wanted to give me an extra 10 minutes of Ed Cooley.
Right.
That's really what it was.
Right. It's typical Friars basketball. Can't close out a game. Then they do everything to try to lose one of the overtimes, and then the next overtime, it swings the other way. They're up by whatever amount of points, and the other team storms back. They've had 2 games this season alone that's been like that. I believe the Marquette game and then this one. So, which one? This one was Marquette. This one was Creighton, right? This last one.
Yes.
Yeah. So Marquette earlier this season and then Creighton last game. So yeah, this is what the Friars do.
Yeah, I think this year they've kind of exceeded all the expectations.
Oh yeah, they have. Yeah, they definitely wasn't pegged they was pegged to take a step back. Let's just say that, and they didn't. It's a credit to Ed Cooley and his coaching.
He's been strong once again. Well, what do you got going on today for us?
We're gonna look at this Illinois-Indiana game. And I like the under in this one. Indiana, they're one of those teams where they really don't want to play, up and down, fast-paced type of ball game. And it seems like Illinois does, but when you have teams with opposing pace of plays, one that likes to get up and down the court, and one that really doesn't. They like to, sometimes they'll play with tempo, but other times, they'll slow it down, give it to that main guy down the post. Jackson Davis. I like to go with the home team, as far as how the game's gonna go. And I think in this one, Indiana, they're comfortable with playing in the 60s, whereas Illinois, it seems like they're more comfortable playing in the 70s and 80s. And I really have Indiana pegged to win. I don't know if they'll cover, but as long as they dictate policy as far as style of play and pace and playing gritty basketball, then I like the under in this one. It's already went down from 144 to 144 to 141 ish. So yeah, I think that line drop is the right move. So I'm on the under.
Well, Chris Ruffolo is pounded on YouTube for his pick of Illinois in this game, so we'll have to see how it shakes out. Those Hoosier fans, they are delusional, that's for sure. They,
yeah, the thing about it is the people in Bloomington hasn't won a damn thing since 1987. So, you got to give them a mea culpa with that one, I guess.
They still think it's 1978. I think. I mean, they're like way back there. But well, you got any another pick for us, or?
Not really, but we could go through a couple that I haven't put premiums on. The Baylor KU game. I think I'm gonna lean towards the Jayhawks in this one. It's really no rhyme or reason with it. I just think that the Jayhawks, I think that they're just in better form. Even though Baylor has looked better overall, they got their big man back. He's getting slowly put back into the game. I don't think he's starting right now, but I just think it's a spot where you're going up into in the Fog Allen. It's a hell of a thing to go in there, and I think the price is right with the Jayhawks. It's at 4.5 right now, and I think they win this one by like 5 to 7 points. Also, I lean the under in that one. Also, I would say that. Anything else that comes to mind? I'm not too sure. Let me just look. That I haven't given premiums on.
It just seems like Baylor is coming on strong. Kansas, boy, they play in just these big games. They win a lot of them, but they always just seem really close. It's like 2 point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I see this TCU line has went up, but I don't think it matters. I think TCU rings Oklahoma State's bell. It's at 7.5 right now. Their main guy is coming back. That's the report. So that's the reason why this line has moved to where it's at. But
I think Miles is going to be 100% though with the leg, because that injury was pretty bad.
Yeah, and I think that's why they held him back for another extra couple games. But they need him. So
they gotta have him.
Yeah, with him on the court, even if he's not 100%, it's better than it's not having him. That's really the main thing, and it's gonna be a one of those momentum things where just having his presence on the court is gonna lift up the other guys. That's what I think. I'm just gonna
It just seems that they haven't had the guy to hit the shot in the last 5 minutes. It's like they've been in the game, and then it comes down to the last 5 minutes. You need that one guy to hit the shots, and even that Mississippi State game that he went out in, they just did not have the guy to do it. Yeah. So he could be a difference maker if he is healthy.
Yeah, another game. I would lean Oklahoma. Over Texas as far as the spread goes. So, these two teams, they're rivals. We all know that. More so in football than in basketball. But Texas, I really don't want to lay that double digits with them. The Sooners, on the other hand, they're hit or miss. Sometimes they'll lay an egg, especially on the road. But other times, they'll come to play. They're kind of unpredictable like that. And I like their coach, who was formerly out of Loyola Chicago. I wish he had a better stint over in Sooner land. But in this spot, I think they can keep it within the spread.
All right. What do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
I have a 5-pack going. I have a 3-pack going, and I will also have, and those are for the afternoon games, and I also have 5 packs going for the later portion of the schedule.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'll be here.
All right. That was Jovan here with a lot of picks for today's action. Bring in Al Ninos. Al, what's happening?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing, Mitch?
Doing good, thanks. What do you got cooking?
Got some NHL cooking. A matchup that you might even have a thing or two to say about.
All right, let's see what you got, because everyone knows that I don't say a lot about NHL, but when I do, there's a couple teams that I like to fade. They start with Calgary and Toronto.
Well, we got one of them too today, so you're in luck, Mitch, and I'm sure the people would love your input on this one more time. Yeah, looking at the Rangers here, I like them. I think they are obviously the better team. They're one of the hottest teams in the league. A couple of reasons, definitely great value on them today, but a couple of reasons they're not a premium. They're playing their second game in 2 nights on the road. They'll probably have their backup goal Yaroslav Halak in net, who's just 8-6-1 on a team that's 33-14-8. So I'll let you do the math on that one. And definitely not their best option in net, I'll put it that way. So, I mean, it might sound like I'm making a case for the Flames here, but again, I just think the Rangers, despite all those disadvantages, are still the better team and definitely the much hotter team playing the better hockey. So taking the plus money on the Rangers here.
Yeah, I gave out the Rangers as well on my 7 free picks, so I'm on you as well. After last night's win, Rangers were my dog of the day yesterday. They looked to be dead in the water, came roaring back. And, I think today they probably don't have to worry about it. I think today they just cruise.
It was a tough matchup yesterday. They definitely had to give it all they had to come back and then complete that comeback. But, yeah, it should be an easier matchup for them. And nothing's ever too easy, but it should be a game, I think, where they definitely have a lot of value in it. On equal rest, I'd be all over it. But, again, that disadvantage there on being on the road. Still like it, but kind of slowed me down a little bit.
Do you have any more picks for today, or
Sure, we could look at some props if you'd like.
Sure, let's do it quickly.
All right. I like Brad Marchand here over 2.5 shots on goal at -135. He's gone over this number in 4 of his last 7 games. Got the rest advantage here on the Bruins team that's been one of the best home teams in the league, going up against the Islanders team that's playing their second game in 2 nights. So look for him to take advantage of those tired legs. Also like Braden Point over 2.5 shots on goal. He's had this one in 4 of his last 6 and stayed under by just the hook. So he had 2 shots on goal in the other 2 games. Like him to have a big game today. One of the best players in the league. He's all over that. Should have plenty of opportunities, which should be a great matchup. And the third one I was looking at was Jack Eichel. Slightly riskier one. We're going to ask him to get 4 shots on goal for us today, but plus 110 odds for that one. Hit it in 3 of his 5 last games. And again, just 3 goals in the 2 games where he didn't go over it. 3 shots on goal in the 2 games he didn't go over it. So he's been close when he doesn't get there. And I think they're going to need a big effort for him with the injuries they have. And again, tough matchup against the Lightning tonight.
All right. What are you selling today at Pick Dogs?
Got a 3-pack in the NHL and another play sold separately, which you could get, of course, if you get the long-term passes, you have all 4 plays that way.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Have a good one, Mitch.
Have a good one. El Ninos. Last but not least, we'll bring Rod in. Rod probably licking those wounds from that Edmonton loss. It was they looked to have it won, and they let it.
It's not over. It's not over until it's over, right? They were up 4-1, and they let the Rangers right back into it.
they gave it away.
The post saves them the Rangers because I think they would have got up 6-1. A couple posts let the Rangers hang in that one, and then hey, they hang around, and you never know what happens. The third period, a couple goals went the other way, a couple bad penalties by the Oilers as well. So it happens.
What do you got for us today?
Well, we're going to go to college hoops. We got Hofstra taking on Stony Brook here, and I love Hofstra. So Hofstra's won 9 straight, 9-0 ATS in their last 9 as well. Hofstra's averaging 75 points a game. When you look at Stony Brook, only averaging 63.4 points a game at home. And you look at the last 8 games when the Hofstra's a favorite of between 10 and 15.5 points. They're 7-1 ATS when covering them big numbers. Stony Brook is a dog, big numbers, 2-2 as a dog. And this Pride team's just been rolling along. 14-2 ATS their last 16 overall. 8-0 ATS their last 8 versus a team with a losing record. Love Hofstra here. Lay the points. I think they win by 15 or 20 over Stony Brook in this one.
Awesome. Not one that I'm overly familiar with, but I do know that Stony Brook has not been very good this season. Hofstra kind of improving as the season's gone on. They've just gotten better. So,
Red Oak, they were looking awful, and they just keep getting better and better as the season's been rolling along, as you said.
So,
one more quick play.
Peaking at
the right time, right? Exactly.
Yep.
Peaking at the right time. Another quick one. We're going to go with the Flyers on the money line here over the Canucks. You look at this Canucks team, and they're just sellers, selling off everything. They want a ping pong ball. Canucks 0-6 in the last 6 Saturday games. They're also, and this Flyers team 6-1 the last 7 versus a team with a losing record. Flyers have been getting wins. 3-1 the last 4 versus the Canucks. Not much Canuck that season. Take the Flyers in the money line in this one.
All right. What do you got for sale? You've been pretty hot with your premium picks. What do you got?
Doing pretty good at college hoops. 14-3 run college hoops. I got a nice college basketball Super Saturday 5-pack. You can scoop that up over at Big Dogs Premium. Or I've got an NHL hat trick going. Or I got a solo play, my $15 NHL sniper play over at Big Dogs Premium. Scoop it up. Probably cheaper to go long term than buying all those packages. Grab a wheat pass and let's continue to make some money and pound the books.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for having me. Have a good day. Good luck.
All right. Well, that wraps up another show here. I've posted my dog of the day on YouTube Shorts. I've posted a ton of videos today. I posted a parlay over on our Instagram account. Check them all out. And, of course, check out all of our cappers. All of our picks at Pick Dogs, always 100% documented. We've got nothing to hide, going all the way back to every pick that's ever been entered on the site. We don't give you some weird subset of picks or anything like that. It's every pick that's ever been made. So check them all out. All daily packages, of course, come with our credit guarantee. If the package does not profit, if the picks are bet individually, you get a credit for the amount that you spent to live to fight another day. But to be honest with you, our cappers have been so hot, we just have not had to issue a lot of credits over the past week or so, or even more than that. So, I call it like I see it. There's really we don't have anywhere to hide because we have nothing to hide and everything's transparent. So I can't, when we're winning, you can see we're winning. When we're not, when our cappers aren't running as hot, well, you can see that as well. But, it's all part of sports betting, but generally I believe we have the best cappers in the world. And that's why we can be transparent. Unlike a lot of those sites out there, they won't even show you the records of the cappers over time because they know it wouldn't be something favorable for them. And of course, if you sell picks, you would want to show something that makes you look favorable. So you would think your picks and your pick record would be that. But anyways, you figure it out for yourself. I know you guys are smarter than that. Make it a winning day. I appreciate every one of you guys. Make it a winner.